Hi everyone! Today I'm going to knit the Umbria Summer Top. This is a pattern by Cookie the Knitter. I will link the pattern in the description box below. The Umbria top is constructed using 2x2 broken rib throughout, and honestly this pattern has been on my to knit list for a while. Now that I don't have a pending test knit to finish, I can start knitting projects for my to knit list. I'm using 100% undyed cotton yarn, which I got from a local manufacturer here in Indonesia. I wound this yarn up into a ball because I'm traveling today, and this yarn came in a 500-gram cone. I don't want to carry the cone with me as I travel because it will be a hassle. It has around 250 meter per 100 gram of yarn, so I should need way less than a cone. I'm going to cast on now using a 3mm knitting needle. The way I usually do my cast on is I hold the working yarn in the back and the tail in the front, insert my right needle from left to right in between the yarn, and twist the needle. So this will be my first stitch. Then I just do a regular long tail cast on while holding on to the first stitch. Now I have 2 stitches casted on my needle. I don't like using a slip stitch as the first cast on stitch because I don't like the bump it creates in the beginning of the row. So I usually just cast on like this unless the pattern told me to do another type of cast on. I now have the required number of stitches on my needle, and I'm going to do a 1x1 rib for the collar. I have the collar all knitted up, and I've also separated sections for the sleeves, front and back, using some stitch markers. I've also changed up my knitting needle to a 3.5mm. It took a little bit of time for me to get used to the pattern because the button bands are knitted together with the body. But on the plus side, there's no seaming for this project. I'm sure that's a big plus for some people. Now I need to separate the sleeves and continue knitting on the body. It's always a bliss to finally be able to try on an ongoing project. Okay, so I made a mistake here. I was supposed to do some decreases on the sides for a more fitted look, but my brain got confused and somehow decided to skip them. I'm on the fence whether to frog around 10 rows back or just to keep going without the decreases. On one side, I somehow think it won't be that big of a deal to skip the decreases, plus I really don't want to frog 10 rows. But on the other side, I want to have the decreases in there to make it more fitted. I ended up doing the decreases on the row that I was working on, which was around 10 rows below where the decreases were supposed to be. So far, I think it still looks good, so I continued knitting with the decreases until the recommended length. Then I add some length for the sleeves, around 5 rows each, because I don't want them to be too long. And now for the finishing touches. I purchased these seashells buttons previously, and I think that these are perfect for this top. I recently started adding these tags to all my hand knits just as a reminder to myself that I made those and that I should be proud of myself. I'm thinking of adding finished dates of them as well, just to see how my skill improves over the years. Even though this top requires no seaming, it still requires weaving in ends. I wish all the ends could just weave themselves in. Anyway, after weaving in all the ends, the top is finally finished. I really love how the top looks, and I definitely don't regret adding the decreases. I only wish that the buttonholes are placed a little bit upward than stated in the pattern, but I can add some snap buttons to make the top more conservative. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!